What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another news video. What's been going on in the wrestling world? As we look at today's headlines, including Cody being in hot water over an alleged homophobic slur, Jon Moxley's first match back in AEW, the real reason Shane McMahon's been off television, controversy over Dave Meltzer's all-out reporting, a new Sasha Banks special, and much more. Let's look at the first bit of news of Cody's post-match celebration controversy. The stars of AEW can be found in a number of promotions besides AEW, whether it's Jon Moxley appearing in New Japan Pro Wrestling, or Cody's recent team-up with Psycho Clown and Cain Velasquez at AAA's Triplemania 27. However, Cody's post-match celebration there recently landed him in hot water when website Outsports reported on Cody using the term puto during his post-match celebration. According to Outsports, during an appearance at AAA Triplemania in Mexico City last month, AEW's Cody Rhodes joined AAA stalwart Psycho Clown and a debuting former UFC champion Cain Velasquez in leading the crowd into a puto chant following their match. The chant's use should come as no surprise to regular viewers of Psycho Clown. The masked luchador regularly leads the crowd in the chant during the matches at events for AAA and various other organizations across Latin America. The site explained the reasoning behind its alarm at Cody's use of the word puto, particularly given AEW's philosophy of being all-inclusive. The chant has come under fire in recent years due to its homophobic nature. Other athletic organizations have cracked down heavily on its use, among other homophobic chants, most notably in soccer. Two separate matches, first in France and later in Brazil, were suspended last month per updated FIFA guidelines due to fans' use of homophobic chants. Mexican sports has a storied history with the anti-gay chant. The country's soccer federation has incurred fine after fine from FIFA due to the chant's use, though the cost of the infractions amounted to little more than a slap on the wrist. The last fine levied against Mexico soccer, a paltry $10,000, came in 2018. According to several sources including Fightful.com, AEW spokesperson issued the following response to Outsports' request for comment. Cody joined his teammates at AAA Triplemania for what he understood to be their post-match tradition in Mexico and was unaware of any negative connotations. Certainly, the last thing Cody would want to do is to hurt or offend anyone anywhere. Fightful also reported that Pentagon Jr. also used the slur at AEW All Out during his ladder match against the Young Bucks. Pentagon's use of the word was not addressed in the statement. AAA did not respond to Outsports' request for comment. With AEW in a business relationship with AAA, it should prove interesting whether or not AAA wrestlers use the slur while competing in AEW. Next up, AEW All Inclusive. The Cody story comes to light after a recent Bleacher Report interview with Brandi Rhodes, AEW's chief brand officer, where she was asked, "Are there any barriers you're intentionally breaking down, or is it just a matter of being open to talented performers, whatever their background might be?" Rhodes responded, "It's not something we set out to do. We never said, we need to check these boxes. That's not a good way to find the best talent in my opinion. As long as you keep in mind that what you're looking for is the best person regardless of anything else, you're going to find the best of the best. And I think that's what we've got here. In our case, we were very lucky. A lot of talent just kind of fell in our lap, which is wonderful when you don't have to search very hard for such talented people. Our agenda was to always have an open mind about everything. When you have someone like Sonny Kiss who is very much on the surface who he is, there's no way we're going to say, maybe he should be different, do different moves, or act a different way. He is who he is, and who he is perfect. He's very talented, and we absolutely love having Sonny as part of the roster." Next up, some more Cody news. There's no Cody AEW title shot. At the risk of this video being all Cody news all the time, Wrestlelamia has to report this one as it could affect one of Full Gear's top matches, Cody challenging Chris Jericho for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. In a recent interview with IGN's Matt Fowler, Cody speculated on the match and what might change it. This is one of the positive uses of cards subject to change. I'm coming off a win over Dustin, one of the best of all time, and coming off a win over Shawn Spears, who's an absolute stud. Those were two huge wins, so me going for the title makes all the sense in the world, but it may not end up being me versus Chris Jericho, because Chris Jericho still has a title defense before that in Philadelphia, and it may not be me if I take a loss to Sammy Guevara on the premiere episode. I think Chris Jericho is probably going to get through his first title defense, but if he doesn't, we're going to stick to our word about win-loss records being a deciding factor. It's really about the data and who has the best record. Next up, Jon Moxley's first AEW television appearance. As interest builds for the upcoming Wednesday Night Raw, both WWE and AEW are looking to load up their shows. One name that's been uncertain for AEW appearance has been Jon Moxley, who's been sidelined due to an elbow injury. However, AEW gave the fans an idea when to expect Moxley again, tweeting, "Is Jon Moxley ready for Sean Spears come Boston, Massachusetts on October 9th for AEW on TNT?" Moxley is expected back for the 9th October TNT show and is scheduled to face Kenny Omega at AEW's Full Gear pay-per-view in November. Thankfully, the staph infection on his elbow hasn't been too serious. Our next story, Dave Meltzer drops the ball. Recently, the Wrestling Observer newsletter's Dave Meltzer reported that All Out drew less buys than Double or Nothing. The only straight number we have, which is US television pay-per-view, looks to be about 28,000 buys. Double or Nothing as of a few days after was closer to 35,000 and ended up 39,000, so this should have another 10 to 12% added to that number when all is said and done. All this together would indicate something around 100,000. In an exclusive story, Ringside News reported, Ringside News received word directly from Fight Television clarifying Dave Meltzer's previous report, saying that All Out buys were lower than Double or Nothing. It was stated to us by Fight TV regarding Meltzer's report that, unfortunately, your source provided you with erroneous AEW buys. They went on to clarify that the company doesn't release numbers to the public, but All Out did exceed Double or Nothing buys. Despite Ringside News' report, the news site tweeted today that, despite Fight TV shooting down Dave Meltzer's report about all-out buys, he continued to inaccurately report the numbers on today's Wrestling Observer Radio. Dave's reporting did not provide details on which outlet did what in terms of buys. This type of reporting wouldn't fly outside of wrestling. Dave Meltzer is considered one of the pioneers of wrestling journalism, and while he's by no means the first, he has built up a following over the last few decades, often deservedly so. However, Meltzer is by no means the beginning and end of wrestling journalism, and as more people independently report on wrestling, it's clear that there are several viable places to get wrestling news. In a business built on deceit, i.e. kayfabe, it's to be expected that journalists will be worked by sources inside wrestling promotions, making it impossible for anyone to be 100% accurate. However, fans should rely on a number of trusted news sites rather than going to one and expecting to catch everything. These two instances with Meltzer only reinforce this point. Next up, where in the world is Shane McMahon? Although it would be a mistake to say the WWE Universe is lamenting Shane O'Mac's absence, they're beginning to wonder where he's been. Recently, Dave Meltzer reported on Wrestling Observer Live that the writers haven't had anything for him, and Vince McMahon is the guy that's been writing the show, and he's forgotten about him. He's forgotten about his son's angle? Yeah, I mean, he hasn't been on. With Shane being involved in high-profile storylines over the last 6 months, it's incredible that the WWE would just drop him from television, which is why some are looking at the recent tweet where someone claimed, "He was in jury duty the last week, my friend met him." As incredible as the story may seem, it makes more sense than Vince McMahon forgetting that his son was involved in a program with Kevin Owens. Until the story is substantiated, we'll have to leave it as a wild but interesting rumour. Next up, Sasha Banks special on tap for WWE Network. Can't get enough of the boss Sasha Banks? WWE Network News is reporting that Banks' boosters won't have long to wait to see a new profile on her. A new episode of WWE Chronicle is set to arrive on WWE Network and soon. On Saturday, September 14th, a new episode of the program will air featuring the controversial but always popular Sasha Banks. One of the biggest stars in the history of women's wrestling and arguably one of the most popular talents of any gender in WWE history, Sasha has been in the spotlight since returning to WWE recently after a brief sabbatical. WWE Chronicle is a documentary-style series that often blends kayfabe and reality and is used as a storytelling device ahead of major matches, similar to the primetime Target series for NXT and NXT UK. This special just comes one night before her Raw Women's Championship match against Becky Lynch at Clash of Champions. And lastly, some news tidbits, as there's more talk that the man Becky Lynch may be moving to SmackDown Live. Another commercial aired today promoting SmackDown's move to Fox, this time during the Washington Redskins vs Philadelphia Eagles game. Lynch was pictured without her Raw Women's Championship belt, leading to speculation that she could lose the belt to Sasha Banks at Clash of Champions. Also, Ronda Rousey recently celebrated hitting the 500,000 subscriber mark on YouTube. With Wrestlelamia fast approaching the 600,000 subscriber mark, we hope to celebrate with our loyal viewers too. Also, rumour has it that Rusev may be spending his time off from the WWE in acting classes. PW Insider is reporting that the WWE is filing for trademarks for the following terms: Yowie Wowie, Firefly Funhouse, Legit Boss, and Monster Among Men, obviously for the purposes of merchandise. But there you have it guys, the latest wrestling news in WWE and AEW. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.